Have you ever caught yourself missing someone who made you cry more than they made you smile? Someone who ignored you, manipulated you, or left you questioning your own worth? Yet somehow your mind keeps replaying the good moments. You know they're not good for you, your friends know it, even your future self probably knows it. So why does your heart refuse to cooperate? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes what you're missing isn't the person, it's the emotional addiction your brain developed around them. Once you understand what's really happening inside your mind, you'll stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" Instead, you'll finally know how to let go. By the end of this video, you'll realize that missing someone isn't always a sign that they belong in your life. Sometimes it's proof that your brain is still recovering from them. Imagine this. You delete their number, unfollow them, and promise yourself you'll never look back. 3 days later, you're somehow staring at an old photo at 2:17 in the morning. Not because you forgot what they did, but because your brain suddenly remembers the vacation, the laughs, and the inside jokes. Funny how your memory becomes a professional movie editor after a breakup. It cuts out the painful scenes and leaves you with a romantic highlight reel. But why? Let's uncover the first reason. Your brain is protecting you. In the wrong way. Our brains aren't designed to remember life objectively. They're designed to help us survive. Painful memories create stress, and too much stress can overwhelm us. So over time, the brain naturally softens certain emotional edges while preserving moments of comfort and connection. Psychologists call this rosy retrospection. It's why vacations seem better after they're over, and it's also why toxic relationships often seem healthier once they're gone. You're remembering the best version of the relationship, not the relationship you actually lived. Ask yourself this. If someone else described your relationship exactly as it happened, would you encourage them to go back, or would you tell them to run? Sometimes we give ourselves advice we'd never give another person, but memory isn't the biggest reason. There's something even stronger happening beneath the surface, and it involves your brain chemistry. Your brain became addicted to the emotional roller coaster. Healthy love feels surprisingly calm. Toxic love often feels exciting because unpredictable affection creates powerful reward cycles. One day they're distant. The next day they're incredibly loving. Then they're cold again. Your brain never knows what comes next. Ironically, uncertainty creates stronger cravings than consistency. It's similar to checking social media notifications. Most of the time, nothing exciting happens, but every once in a while there's something rewarding, and that unpredictability keeps people coming back. Relationships can work the same way. You weren't just attached to the person, you became attached to chasing the next emotional high. When the relationship ends, your brain isn't just grieving, it's experiencing withdrawal. No wonder moving on feels so difficult. Here's something almost nobody talks about. Sometimes you don't miss who they were. You miss who you became when they occasionally treated you well. We'll come back to that in a moment because first, there's another invisible force keeping people emotionally trapped. Your identity. Quietly wrapped around the relationships don't only connect two people. They connect routines, dreams, future plans, inside jokes, morning texts, and weekend traditions. Even grocery stores can suddenly become emotional minefields. You walk past the cereal aisle and somehow your brain says, "Remember when they couldn't decide between two brands?" Seriously? Out of all possible memories, you chose breakfast? The point is, you're not simply losing a person. You're losing a version of your own life. Your identity quietly fused with theirs, and when they leave, part of your daily identity disappears too. That emptiness often gets mistaken for love, but they're not always the same thing. Now here's where things become even more surprising, because sometimes the strongest attachment isn't built on happiness, it's built on hope. Many people stay emotionally attached to someone's future, not their reality. They think they could change. They weren't always like this. If timing had been different, or if I had just tried harder. Hope can be beautiful, but hope can also become emotional quicksand. You're not grieving the relationship that existed. You're grieving the relationship you imagined could exist someday. Those are two completely different things, and confusing them keeps people emotionally stuck for months, sometimes years. There's one final reason that's incredibly difficult to admit, but it's often the most important one. When someone repeatedly hurts us, rejects us, or makes us feel not enough, our confidence slowly erodes. Without realizing it, we begin chasing their approval because somewhere deep inside we start believing, if they finally choose me, maybe I'll finally feel valuable. Notice the trap? Your worth becomes dependent on someone who repeatedly failed to see it. That's not love. That's emotional outsourcing. Real healing begins when you stop asking, how do I get them back? And start asking, why did I need someone else's permission to feel worthy? That question changes everything. So how do you actually move on? Not by pretending you don't miss them, not by forcing yourself to hate them, and definitely not by stalking their profile just to see how they're doing. We've all told ourselves that little lie before. Instead, do these 3 things. First, write down every reason the relationship ended. Not the fantasy, the facts. Memory lies, evidence doesn't. Second, build a life your brain wants to stay in. Create new habits, new experiences, and new friendships. Your brain cannot replace old emotional pathways if you never create new ones. Third, practice missing them without contacting them. This sounds strange, but emotions aren't emergencies. You can miss someone without inviting them back into your life. That's emotional maturity. Here's something worth remembering. Healing isn't when you stop thinking about them. Healing is when thinking about them no longer changes your direction, when their name becomes just another memory instead of a destination. Because the goal isn't to erase the past. The goal is to stop letting the past decide your future. One day, you'll realize something remarkable. You never actually needed the person who hurt you. You needed the version of yourself that existed before you believed their behavior defined your value. And that version of you is still there, waiting patiently, not for them, but for you. If this video helped you understand your own mind a little better, take a second to hit the like button. It helps this video reach people who may need to hear this message. Share it with someone who's struggling to let go, because sometimes understanding the psychology behind our emotions is the first step toward healing. And if you enjoy thoughtful videos that combine psychology, human behavior, and practical life lessons, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Until next time, remember, the people who hurt you don't deserve free rent in your mind forever. Your future deserves that space more,